Hey everybody, welcome back to Generation X Nation. Once again, thank you to everybody who's followed me, everybody who's looked at my videos, everybody who's looked at my shorts, everybody who left a comment. I greatly appreciate it. I know there's a lot of other channels out here in this YouTube universe that y'all could be watching and listening to. Thank God you just took a minute to try to give me some love. And I tell you, it doesn't go unnoticed. All right. Now, on my channel, everything is alleged. In my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. And I have to say that twice so we can be clear, okay? I don't have a dog in this fight. I could, I give my commentary basically on what I see on the television from week to week. So if I'm doing commentary on a television show, one week I may give a person a good review. The next week I give the next week I may give them a bad review. Just depends on how they act that week on the show. I don't have a dog in this fight. I tend not to have favorites. I just give honest commentary. I don't know these people, and I know a lot of times we have our favorites on shows, and I can understand that. A lot of these shows I have been watching for years, and I decided, hey, if other people have YouTube channels, I might as well do one too. All right. Whether I get monetized or not doesn't matter to me, but I do need to get to 500 subscribers because I done put out a lot of videos. So go back there and start looking at my stuff and like and leave a comment. Leave a comment. Now, what we're going to talk about today is a never ever Mets. As I've been saying, and I've put out a couple of videos about this show. This show is one of the best shows on network. It's literally one of those little kept secrets. Similar to Love is Blind, because you don't really get to know the person until you meet them in person. But the difference is they get to see their faces on the internet because these people have met virtually. They met each other online. They've been FaceTiming and all of that. Now they get to be in that person's presence and see if their vibe is really as good as it was online, how they act in person and everything else. Because, once we click the phone off or put the laptop down, you don't know where the person does after that or where they go. So we're going to start where it left off at, okay? This particular episode, I don't want to get too deep because, again, you might have watched some other people's videos. So I try to keep mine short and sweet. I don't want to repeat what everybody else has said. I try not to watch a lot of other people's videos until I put mine out. And then I notice some of the times we do have similar opinions on some of the situations. So we're going to start off with the end of Clay and Tatiana. Tatiana and Clay has finally left the house. They kind of recapped it from last week. As you can see, going in, you could see where Clay was lying the whole time. And then he started gaslighting Tatiana on the way out. Tatiana felt some kind of way, and she actually did put an Instagram posted an Instagram live the other day about feeling a certain way about living in a house full of liars and people knowing all of this stuff about what was going on, and they didn't let her know. And I had a video titled, that's why I tell you I'm good at this. Y'all just got to get to my channel. I had a video titled House of Liars. Everybody in that house I felt was not being honest with each other. And I don't know if the initial attraction was gone once they seen each other in person, but they just was not being honest. They came in there with hidden secrets and lies. That's what I seen on the show. So once that started, they kind of recapped that, and then everybody is starting to gather around and go through the whole process of what happened with them. They recapping it amongst themselves. Now, the people I'm going to cover this week is particularly Ty, and I think the lady name is Brittany. I knew from day one they probably wasn't going to get along. She doesn't seem like she likes him. And I knew it just gave me a vibe, like the way she talked to him. She never let him get close to her. She was kind of upset. This is the one that was upset because the guy was cooking food and wouldn't go in there and get her a glass of water or a glass of wine or something a couple episodes ago. And I was like, Brittany, you're making a big deal out of that. But I also understood he wasn't paying attention to her. So I kind of seen the cracks in that relationship already, but I just want to see how it played out. And then we're also going to talk about Charlie and Jared. Charlie is a young lady who happens to have the 4 kids who hid the 1 month old when the show started. And Jared is the young man she had been dating online for about, I want to say they dated online for 4 years, which I thought that was a long time. And he had I want to say a 6 month old that he didn't tell Charlie about when he came into the house. Like I said, everybody just came to the house with these lies. But yet you were online for years talking and you still wasn't telling each other the truth. If this is what dating is like nowadays, oh my God, how can you trust anybody at this point? So we're going to start off with the guys. They were in there. I think they were in the pool room and they were talking about what had just happened, and they was like, who's the next couple to go? So they started ranking each other, and I don't want to get too deep, but they did rank Ty and Britt as the last. And I said, oh, I seen that coming. I knew personally, I don't know how they lasted this long. She should have been left. And then after that, they got into the visitation thing. Okay, they started talking about it, this and that, and start laughing. But one thing I started noticing is Cinco and Jay seems to think in their mind that they are the perfect couple in the house, and they have decided that they're going to give advice to everybody and let people know how they really feel. For whatever reason, Jay does not, and Jay and Cinco been dating, I think, for about 3 or 6 months online. What did I write down? Cinco and Jay, I think they were 5 months online dating. And they seem to be able to, they click, seem like they click pretty much in person. The only problem I have with Jay, and I think Jay needs to stay in Jay's lane and maybe mind Jay's business and stay out of everybody else's business. That's just my take on it. Now, moving forward, they're talking about the visitation day that's coming up, and that's going to be between Jared and Charlie's family members. Charlie's bringing her best friend. Of course, Jared is bringing his sister. Let me tell you something. That Jared's sister is not to be played with. So at this point, Jared decides to tell his secret, to come truthful with Charlie. He let Charlie know that, hey, I was the one that said, when we played the game, would I stay, right now? And I put hell, F, and no. He let her know he was the one that wrote that down, and basically told Charlie, I'm not ready to raise 4 kids. And it's just not, I just don't see myself doing that. Charlie's hurt. I think in a sense, Charlie probably felt like, I got a good job, I got a big house, and maybe I can buy this dude. I don't know, but that's what I get from it, because she went into, she makes more money than him, when she was talking to his sister, but we'll get into that. So Charlie sat there and she was like, she was visibly hurt, and I get it. And she said, so you've been playing me the whole time, which I said in my first 2 videos. He immediately knew he was just playing her. So I don't know if Jared just wanted to be on TV or he wanted to smash, like he said, he gonna crack it and then he done. And that is just so disrespectful what Jared did to that lady. You knew from the beginning you didn't want to be with her. You should have packed up and left. But you waited till you got what you want, just like Clay. And now all of a sudden, oh, it's a done deal. Because in my mind, Clay went back. Clay left Tati. I don't think he wanted to stay with her because she wouldn't put up with his mess. And so I believe Clay left Tati to go back home to the lady he had that baby by. And I think he was using this format to determine which woman he wanted to be with, because he liked Tati genuinely, but he didn't know if she would accept his child, which she did. But then after all the other stuff, I guess she said enough's enough with the lies. So now Clay is free to go back to his baby mama, who he had been dating for some years before he broke up and met Tatiana. And I think in my mind, Jared ran the same game on Charlie. I don't know if he's going back to his baby mother's, because he never really mentioned who she is, but he definitely knew he wasn't going to stay with Charlie. And to go in there and be intimate with her like that is just downright dirty. And you were wrong for that. Charlie, again, I just don't agree with you showing up there with a 1-month-old. But that is your business. It's on you. Got nothing to do with me. So they're having a conversation. And Charlie, is feeling some type of way, and she's hurt genuinely, and I can understand why. She felt played, and technically, she was played. Let's just keep it real. So Jared is only getting all this out because his sister is coming. He confessed to the guys, my sister don't know about Charlie's other kids. My sister don't know about the whole relationship with me and Charlie, so I got to let everything out. She don't know I haven't told Charlie about my child, all this other stuff. So when the sister comes in, she checked Jared a little bit. They sat down and had the conversation. She checked Jared, but she also checked Charlie. Like, why would you hide your kids, for one? And what is your expectation? You just expect him to pick up and leave and move to another state to raise somebody else's children? And Jared told her, I don't think I'm capable of raising somebody else's children. I think it's the fact that it's 4. If it may have been 1, maybe 2, I think Jared would have been okay. But 4 kind of scared him off. Because, again, we're not shaming her for being a single woman, but it's the 4 children by a previous marriage, and they're all by the same man, or is it different fathers? And that would come into play for me, even as a man. I'm a woman, but I still would question, like, well, okay, you got 4, and you just had a 1-month-old, and you here. I would question that. As a man, I would question that. I'm questioning as a woman because, being a mother, you would never leave your child that young. You shouldn't. But as a man, I would also like, wow, you left a 1-month-old to go chase a man? So Charlie seems very smart and business-wise. According to her, she has a 6-bedroom house. She makes good money, more than him. But when it comes to the matters of the heart, she's not that smart. She wants to be in love because apparently she keep having these babies and they're not, and whoever she having them for or whatever, they're just not staying. So you might want to pull back. Okay. So Jared finally, confessed. His sister's letting her know, basically, I think the sister basically is saying neither one of y'all need to be together because you both lied to each other, and my brother ain't finna raise no 4 kids. But she did tell Charlie, don't ever hide your kids, which what I was saying. Like, why are you shaming who you are? Be proud of who you are. You got 4 kids. You got a good job. Make it work. But Charlie, I'm gonna say this. It is some guy out there watching, and he see an opportunity. So be careful of who inboxing and DMing you after this show. Because when you go on TV and you tell these people you make all of this money, according to you, and you got this big old house, there's an opportunist waiting. Because he know your biggest concern is your children. And he will go in there playing with your children. He will treat them like it's his. He will love your kids like they're his because he wants to get into that position where he can live a soft life. Yes, men want soft lives too. Okay? Charlie said, I wasn't planning on moving to South Carolina. I don't think so. I wasn't going to uproot my kids. Jared's like, I don't know if I was going to bring her there with all these kids. So that's just a done deal. I don't even know why they're sitting there talking. That relationship is pretty much over. And even if it's not and you try to make it work, you got a taste of his family by sitting there and listening to his sister. I don't think you want to be around them, Charlie. And I'm not saying this was a nasty person. She was very straightforward, but I don't think y'all would have got along that great. I just don't. Moving on to Britt and Ty. Ty is bragging about everything he did for Britt. Ty's love language is apparently food. I made her steak and crab legs and we did that. I mean, it seemed like he was getting turned on by talking about the food he made. Ty's love language is really food, and it excites him to feed a woman and cook for a woman. Nothing's wrong with that. Britt enjoys the food. She obviously likes eating, but she don't like Ty. She wouldn't let that man touch her. She wouldn't let him get too close to her. Every other couple who had a connection in the house has at least hugged, held hands, maybe kissed on the cheek. She hasn't done anything like that. I mean, even Brandon and Kiki have had some moments where they were a little close, like touching or feeling. She won't let that man near her. There's nothing that in there's nothing in Britt's body language that makes me believe in any shape or form that she likes Ty. I don't know why Ty doesn't see it. But I also see something in Ty, whereas he'll pop off in a minute. And I've seen it. And then I can see where Brittany will pop off in a minute. They're just not good for each other. I don't know why they were faking it. So you have one couple that already left. Then you had I forgot their name on top of my head. Then you had Tatiana and Clay who left last week. And Britt and Ty should be next. I'm sorry, but they should be the next couple out. They have absolutely no reason to be there, followed by Jared and Charlie. And that's why I'm focused on them two. Britt, Ty, Jared, and Charlie, y'all need to pack y'all bags, exit stage left. I don't know if you just stand there riding it out because the more episodes, the more checks. I don't know what the issue is, but none of y'all need to be on that show. Y'all ain't got no business together, and y'all not ready to be together. The last hope is Kiki, Cinco, Brandon, Jay. That's really the last hope of the house. And the other guy, I forgot his name, the one in my opinion that can't read. No disrespect, but I really think he needs hooked on phonics. And that's is it Alex and Chris? Yeah, Chris and Alex. I'm sorry, Alex, no disrespect, but you kept misspelling them words on that game. I can understand one word misspelled, maybe two, but you misspelled every word. I'm like, you might need hooked on phonics or something, because I don't understand how a grown man can't spell purple unless there's something wrong. Maybe dyslexic. I don't want to, I'm trying to be nice. And ain't nothing wrong if you can't barely read and can't spell. Even as an adult, go get help. There's plenty of places out there that can show you, or online. Sound the word out. Okay? Sound it out like we used to do in elementary school. Sound it out. Now, those are the three couples that's left. I think maybe Cinco and Jay may make it, but Jay got to stop running around there giving everybody advice and just focus on her relationship. Because the way she started snapping at Brittany when Brittany and Ty was in the kitchen, and then they started having this back and forth, and to me, they shouldn't have been calling each other out in front of the other people. And, Brittany started going off on him. He started snapping back at her. And then, what's her name? I'm sorry. Jay jumps in and say, you're this, that, and the third. Brittany, I don't like you anyway, and you won't like him. That ain't got nothing to do with you. It's the same thing with Tatiana and Clay. As much as I like Tatiana and I felt so sorry for her, she felt a certain way because nobody told her. But technically, you're in the house to build a bond with the person you met online. It is not your job to get into anybody else's relationship. And that's why he didn't say anything, Tati. And it did feel bad. But you know how many people sitting in that house looking stupid? You weren't alone. I'm not saying Charlie, not calling her any names, but Charlie probably looking back on this show like, God, I look like a clown in that house. Yes, you did, but you didn't know. It was unknowingly. Tatiana, you was unknowingly being played. Ty, Britt don't like you. I'm sure you see it now. And Alexis and the young man that left earlier, she didn't like you. You don't really know what's being said behind the screens because you don't see the confessionals after the show airs and all of that. So don't feel bad. Y'all took a chance on love and it didn't work out. It just didn't work out. But I will say this. Charlie, you're a nice young lady. You have a lot going for yourself. But having 4 kids, it's going to be difficult. But don't give up on love, especially that your children are young. That's the issue. I guess if your children were 16 to 18 or 20, basically out the house, you probably could go find a man. And they would be happy to be with you considering everything you have accomplished in your life. But a lot of people, especially men, don't want to deal with the small babies because they think it comes with baby daddy issues. I got to do diapers and similar. It takes a real man to accept your children as his own and be a stepfather to your children. And I ain't saying men aren't real, but it's just it's a special type of guy. Because, a lot of guys it's hard out here. You say you make great money, that's great, but it's 4 kids is still a lot. And taking care of a household, cars, insurance, medical, dental, college tuition, whatever. That's a lot. So for a man to take that on, he has to really be into you. And that guy was into you for 4 years, quote unquote. Meanwhile, y'all apparently was sleeping with other people because you had a baby and he had a baby. But y'all claim y'all was into each other for 4 years. And even when he met you in person, He could not get past the 4 kids. And your kids are definitely blessings from God, not knocking the children, but I want you to have your expectations a little bit more believable and lead with I have 4 children. I ain't saying that's the first thing you say when you meet somebody, but don't hide it for 4 years. Let them know up front before your feelings get too involved, before you get too deep. When you meet the next person, let them know, I do have children. You ain't got to give them all deep circumstances. You could say, I don't know, I was married for 10 years and I had 4 children, me and my husband split or something, whatever the case may be. But let him know and let him decide if he want to pursue you further and be willing to help you in raising those children. Don't hide them, then pop them on somebody. These dudes out here are not trying to take on 4 children. So Charlie, that was really 4 years wasted. Because you should have been honest maybe 2-3 years ago. I don't know. But it was 4 wasted years. All right. Tatiana Clay, again, Clay, do better. Stop lying to people. If you want to go back to your first girlfriend that just had your 6-month-old, then you should have said that and left, exit stage left. I don't like when people stay on these shows just to get a check when they know they should have left 2, 3, 4 episodes ago. Britt, Ty, y'all should have left probably after the swimming pool scene. When he was barbecuing and wouldn't get you that glass of water or wine you wanted out the house and you went off on him. Y'all should have exited then. I knew then it wasn't nothing going to happen, but he tried to make it up to you and made you dinner. His love language is food. You like eating food, but after that, you don't want nothing to do with him. Just weird to me. Anyway, if you guys are not watching Never Ever Met, please watch it. When I tell you these people have some interesting dynamics on this show with how they deal with these online relationships versus seeing a person in person. If you're dating online, it may help you because you can literally have a whole second life full of lies and meet a person online and continue that life for years until y'all meet in person. And their only goal in person is probably to get intimate with you. Then you go back home, never hear from them again. They block you. Because every person who left the show, except for the first couple, the other 2, they were intimate before they broke up. And both of them knew the relationship probably would not have worked. Both of the men knew, the women didn't. But both of the men knew that they was not going to be in that relationship. But they didn't have enough gumption to say it before they went and slept with the person. Because had they not been intimate with those 2 ladies and told them the truth first, it wouldn't have went that far. Be careful of snakes, because that's what they were. And with that being said, this is Generation X Nation. I appreciate everybody rocking with me today on this channel. I appreciate all my subscribers. I want you to like and share, tell a friend to tell a friend. I enjoy doing this. Even if you don't, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. I still like doing it. I would love for you to leave a comment on my video and let me know, are you dating online? Have you dated online? Did you meet the man or the woman of your dreams online? Because online dating to me is scary, especially if it's somebody from out of state. Now, if you're dating online and it's somebody local where you live at, that may be cool. But if it's somebody from out of state, just be careful. That's all. Just be careful. And even in state, be careful, because sometimes it doesn't end well. So, and with that being said, I want you guys to have a great rest of your day. As I always say, don't worry about the woes in Washington, D.C. What's up there is going to happen. Doesn't matter. You just pray that God is in control. Go look at some of my shorts and follow me on TikTok. On TikTok, I am Generation X Nation. Got a lot of good videos there too. TikTok is basically my political views. I'm sure some of y'all would love that. And a little bit of entertainment too. All right. So you guys go and have a great rest of your day. This is Gen X Nation. Peace, and I'm out.